because we're going to do a little background noise right now with the intro. So there it is. Look at those barrels. We should do commentary.
Those are sexy barrels.
I wonder what warehouse that was stolen from. Oh, there's Zach.
I'm going to have to imagine barrels.
There's Zach, and there's, I always say Penny. I don't know why I keep
I thought you said it was going to be P.
the Barrel Buddies.
Hun
I
P.
love the logo in that picture, I realized. We should get the logo back.
Yeah, it's something.
We should get the logo back.
Point out Elijah doing the Zach robot.
Robot. Spill the glass.
No, we're sniffing the glass. Remember, you gotta wait.
There's a lucky spill.
Gotta wait. Oh, that's the money.
All right. Welcome to the Barrel Buddies. I'm James.
I'm Zach.
I'm BJ. Welcome back to your weekly whiskey, wine, and bourbon podcast, where we talk about all the things that are out there that you should try and buy and avoid. And then we're sticking in with our Dickel category, our Dickel menu here.
Hey-o.
Keep on keeping on with the
Second
Dickel.
Dickel. Last
Second
week Dickel. This week Dickel. Next week
Stop.
Dickel.
Sucking
Resist.
down the Dickel.
Stop. Don't start. What did I tell you?
Dickel,
Okay,
Dickel.
I said before the show, enough phallic jokes.
We had the black
and
Dickel last week, and this week we're going to have some white Dickel.
Do they make any
George
Dickel?
George Dickel.
George Alabaster Dickel. Aloysius. George Aloysius Dickel.
Ooh,
George
that's the sour mash,
Aloysius
baby.
Dickel.
George Aloysius Dickel.
Aloysius. It's
That's
delicious.
not true.
Dickel.
It's George Abelman.
Ah.
That's not true either.
Shelly, how you doing?
Albert
Welcome to the show.
Albert is believable.
Definitely Albert.
We'll give it George Albert in a can.
Anyway, welcome to the show. We're doing George Dickel 12 Tennessee whiskey review.
Is that 12 years old, Jimmy?
It's not 12 years, so this is recipe number 12. But I will say this much. It supposedly has a little bit more age from last week's Dickel Recipe 8.
Well, this is the
So-
sour. The first one is not a sour mash, correct?
Nope, so the mash bill is the same.
Oh.
I believe that...
Because I'm seeing sour mash on this guy.
This does say it is a sour mash.
Yeah.
Where number 8 was also a sour
They're
mash.
both sour mashes. Mash, mash, mash.
And do
sour,
we-
sour, sour.
Do we remember what exactly constitutes a sour mash? Could you remind us?
I have no idea. I don't
But we
recall
looked
unless-
this
Oh,
up.
you
Sour
know
mash
this.
was this was kind of like the Solara method, if I remember right. There's mash that
that's
is taken
right.
from
The-
previous
like
batches.
mother
and then-
bread.
Thank you.
So
Zach,
previous batches
thank you.
mash is mixed in with the
Yeah,
mash.
it's like sourdough bread.
Portions of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Portions of it.
So we bring back some of the mother into the mash,
Some of that
Yeah.
which
mother
makes it that
mash.
sour mash.
So spent mash is also called backset or stillage.
Ah,
Ooh,
That's
a
a-
little stillage.
for my pillage.
That sounds terrible.
It does sound terrible.
It
It sounds,
helps-
Pillage the stillage.
It helps balance pH levels from a scientific point of view.
I gotta be
so-
honest. It sounds like when you're hearing like your grandparents complain about going to the doctor and they're like, "How you feeling?" "Oh, my back hurts." "Oh yeah, this morning I had a little stillage in my."
I think I think you're thinking of stool.
That's what it sounds like.
Anyway,
Not cool.
We are off the rails already with this.
All right, but
George
you said
Dickel.
it's not the same. It cannot be the same mash bill. Hold on, I'm gonna call you out a little bit on this. It can't
84% corn. They're
Lots of
corn.
corn.
Dude.
because
These are corn
because
dominant.
because this is classic number 8 recipe, and this is
Yeah.
classic number or superior number 12 recipe.
Yeah.
So they can't be the same recipe.
Yes, they can because it's the same mash bill of the same distillate that's just aged for different amounts of time.
Well, that's not the same recipe.
Okay.
So maybe
Let's
one recipe is
clarify.
cooking a little longer than the other recipe.
No,
Perhaps
no.
that's
The
it.
aging is the only difference here, and then they're
Exactly,
blended
that's
differently.
what I meant when I said cooking.
Oh,
Yeah,
aging.
Uncle Punky, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Uncle Punky.
But this isn't 8 years and 12 years.
No,
do we
it's
know?
not.
Do we have an age statement or at
They-
least a guesstimate?
I would say 4 to 6, and maybe the 12, 6 to 8.
Okay.
I would assume.
I'll give it
Anyway,
to you.
let me talk to you guys about price real quick because this is amazing, right? So that 8, I think was what, $18.99. It's like $19.
It was $21.
This 12, $12 $25.
Oh, yeah.
It's $5
Oh,
more.
You go up in quality, up in price.
Let's see
$4 more.
Let's see if we notice a big difference in taste.
I wonder if the 12 Dickel is bigger than the 8.
Obviously it is because the number's higher.
More tasty.
Math. Haha, math.
Whoa.
Math us.
Look at the big brain on James.
That was a great pour and pop, by the way,
Look
that
at
cork pop.
Yeah.
It's a nice synthetic cork we have on the bottle here.
Same looking bottle as the 8. In fact, Dickel
Thank you
has
for
a...
conserving cork, by the way. There's
that's
a cork
That's a sign of quality.
running out of
right?
cork
Synthetic
in the world.
All right.
I'll give you a synthetic cork.
Pop that
Synthetic
cork in there.
cork
There you
right
go.
in the mouth.
This has an interesting nose. Wow.
I think it smells like another famous Tennessee whiskey.
Ooh.
Is what I think it smells like.
Well. Wow, that pops. That is like, whoa.
That's like honey vanilla to me.
Really?
I get melon, man.
Yeah.
I get more of that melon. Midori.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm getting a citrusy vanilla maybe.
Then I'm gonna
Sweet caramel. Caramel and melon.
maybe my nose is broken.
Why? What are you getting there?
Is your smeller? not
Well,
with the
after you
fella?
ate all that garlic bread and ghost pepper peanuts before the show, that'll do it.
I didn't
So,
eat ghost pepper peanuts or garlic
what
bread.
are you getting that
Yeah, you sniffed it.
we apparently are ignorant to? So please enlighten us.
Well, for my refined palate,
Leatherbound books and rich mahogany.
I believe that.
A bit of coriander in there.
Wow. Now you're.
Cracked pink pepper and white pepper.
It's about time. And a sprig of rosemary.
That's right. And a splash.
All right, get to the point here.
Wonderful.
I do get a bit of citrusness, citrusy note here.
Redbeard, take it easy, man. Thanks for at least popping in and saying something. He's moving tonight and can't join the show, but he just wanted
good
to
luck with the move, man.
Good
Nothing
luck.
worse than
chime
a
in.
move.
Yeah, moves are the worst, especially when
Cheers
you got a
to you,
little
man.
one. Cheers to Johnny too. Just rewatch the show.
Yeah,
This'll
give
be
us
a
a
good
rewatch. Don't forget to leave a comment. Thank you.
Yeah. Patrick Curry, what up?
What's up, P. Curry? What's the yuzu? Is maybe the citrus note that you're thinking about, right?
Interesting.
Because you're saying like
Wow,
citrus notes,
yeah.
lemon notes, a sweetness. So
Yes.
yuzu is kind of what I'm thinking you might be going for.
Yeah, like almost a little lemon pledge, but not in a bad way.
Right. It's acidic, right?
Yeah.
Citrusy and acidic.
And we haven't tasted this yet, so who knows what if that's going to change this up a bit. But yeah.
And I'm going to go back to what I said about George Dickel 8 last week. There is a minerally tinge here.
What does
I
that
agree-
mean?
I
What does
agree
that
with
mean?
that.
What does that mean?
Well, all right.
What does mineral tinge mean?
Everybody knows.
On the nose?
Yeah, on the nose. So
Everybody does not know. That's why they're
everybody
watching
knows.
this show.
everybody knows that Dickel has this bad reputation for tasting or smelling like Flintstone vitamins. When I think about minerally, I'm thinking of like when you smell the dirt. There's an earthiness, but there's like an acidic earthiness, right? That rock smells like. Think about when you go into a cave, and some of our watchers that are more towards the eastern side of the country, and for those of you watching globally, if you've ever been down into a deep, damp cave, maybe a place where they store wine, maybe a cellar, there is like a root cellar, minerally wet rock smell. And that's what a tinge of minerality
Dude, I was
to me
gonna
smells
say,
like.
I was gonna say the only thing I can really relate this to is when it first starts raining and that rain smell.
Yeah, it's not like a rain smell, but it's like wet rock. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
when
on
rocks
wet
get
rocks,
wet.
I'm
Not
kinda
wet
with you.
pavement, but wet rock. Wet
And that-
wet dirt.
And that nose is translating to a taste, you think?
I haven't tasted it yet, so cheers. We'll get into a
Cheers,
taste here.
cheers, gents.
That's what I mean by a tinge of minerality. It's earthy, but it's very like a mineral water has a tinge of minerality, right? You get mineral.
This is like strange to me. It's like kind of meaty, like bacon.
Man, that's got a freaking ethanol punch to it, though. Right up front.
A little bit.
That's me, though.
I think
So-
we need to give it the 3. We all got to give it the 3.
Oh,
The
yeah.
3-sip rule, as you all know, we do here. First sip is the shock to your senses and palate, so you always kind of gotta give that first sip a pass, right? That's not, your body is like, you're basically intaking poison, and it's like, what is this?
Yeah, you're not
So-
going to taste anything with that.
Exactly.
Poison.
So that the second flavor, or the second sip you take is you're gonna be like, oh, okay, my palate's kind of getting used to this, And then by the third, we say the 3-sip rule. That's what you get the true taste of what things should taste like. You're ready to rock and roll. I'm on number 2, going into number 3. And then I'll give you guys passing some judgment shortly.
So read a little bit off the bottle here. 45% alcohol, 90 proof. They do say that this one is a little bit more of a kick in the pants. This is obviously the superior recipe is what they call this one. This has won a lot of awards. We looked up this.
Yeah, a lot of San Fran Spirit Awards.
And I think it's important to point out, too, we didn't talk about this last week, but Dickel is not put out by Dickel Distilling or George Dickel Distillery. This is actually put out by Cascade Hollow Distillery.
Yeah.
Or as I'm sure they say it in Tennessee, correct me if you're watching the show, Tennesseers, Cascade Holla.
Yeah.
Holla.
Or holler.
So why don't we do a little Vanna? Why don't Zach Vanna us?
Would you mind?
Please.
Sure.
Little Zachy.
And shout out to Castillo Funeral Home. I see you're ripping their shirt tonight, by the way. It's a
I'll
great
give
shirt.
we'll do a Vanna and then I'll give my weekly announcement
there
here.
it is, friends.
Hey, George
So,
Dickel. What up
Superior
there?
12.
What's up
there
there,
he
buddy?
is. There's the man himself.
George
The finest
Aloysius Dickel.
Finest quality sipping. I like that.
Look, from Cascade Holler. Sour
at that.
mash.
You got to do your wink.
Whoa,
What happened here?
whoa.
What are you doing?
There it
we
is.
go. There we go.
Our shout out to our friends at Castillo Funeral Homes.
Toledo, Ohio.
Putting the fun back in funeral. Thanks, Uncle Richard.
Shout out to JC out there. And I don't mean Jesus Christ. But anyway.
Jesus Christ. All right, into my second sip. So this, I think,
Yes.
is super approachable. I don't think I get a ton of... Again, maybe I'm broken tonight. I don't get a lot of ethanol in this. It's not jumping up on me.
Same.
But I do find this to be much more enjoyable than Dickel 8. I think this is way more drinkable. I like this a lot better as far as a sipping whiskey goes. It is, so that minerality I think does translate to the taste, and I do think it's a little harsh. I do get a lot more oak and barrel, but it really smooths out into the finish. Really nice. I think it's got a nice long finish. Not long, but mid to long finish. And I think that it's got a really nice caramel, smoky, a little vanilla.
a little smokiness.
I think there's a little smokiness here.
There is a little hint of
See, I'm
smokiness.
getting pepper right on the middle of my tongue, and then I'm getting vanilla at the very, very tip of my tongue. Also on my lips.
That would make sense.
When it comes to sweetness, might be a stretch, but a little bit of maple. Maple syrupy.
I think I like that. I would give that to you. Zach, you want to read off for us? Just because I think your eyes are probably a little better than mine to read this very small print about the Superior number 12 recipe.
Oh, yeah. What do we got here?
Tell us about it.
That is very small.
Very small print. I was like, I don't know if I can read that.
Okay, our Superior number 12 recipe has a rich depth of flavor perfectly balanced with the signature smooth finish of George Dickel. The rich flavors of Superior number 12 recipe come from resting our whiskey in oak barrels for years and chilling our whiskey before filtering it through sugar maple charcoal. Oh, maybe that's where the maples come from.
Oh, that's right. And they I forgot they cold filter it.
They cold filter it.
Cold
No,
filter
they
it.
don't. You're thinking of Greg Metz and Old Elk.
I mean, it's
There's
chilling.
no mention of cold filtering.
They are chilling the whiskey.
Oh, it does say chill filtered?
So they chill the
I
whiskey
didn't
before
see
filtering
Sorry.
it
All right.
through
I
sugar,
missed that.
You missed
sugar
that last week.
maple
I missed it.
charcoal. So
Okay.
sugar maple charcoal.
Okay.
Maybe that's why it's a little
Cool.
different and sweet.
I know the
In
answer
this
to
smooth
that.
finishing 90 proof whiskey, you'll find flavors of rich oak and subtle vanilla with hints of sweetness and smoke. Around here, like they say, there ain't nothing better than Dickel.
All
No,
right.
actually, it's just there ain't nothing better
Oh, okay.
Then Dickel.
than Dickel.
Go into the chat.
Ain't nothing better.
Patrick's asking, what's the difference between sour mash and sweet mash? That's a really good question, and I don't know why they call it that, because it's a very simple answer. The sour mash uses the mother, leftovers from the previous batch,
The stillage.
whereas sweet mash just uses fresh yeast only. So they don't use any mother or former batch leftovers to
Sour leftover, sweet no leftover.
Exactly.
No stillage, sir.
No stillage.
One thing I want to mention, one of the big taste notes that I'm referencing when I drink this, walking into a Home Depot, and you can do this if you want to.
I think I know where we're going to go with this.
If you want to taste along with us, and you just go to the wood aisle, they have lumber section in Home Depot. Find like a nice plank of maple or pine, and just lick it.
Just give it a big lick.
Just
I would even say you don't even
lick the
don't lick.
board.
Don't lick it.
Maybe
Oh
lick
my
it,
god!
lick it, and then smell it.
Listen, we're not doing the lick
and that
challenge.
tastes exactly.
Oh, this
what
sounds
I
like an
taste
internet
right now.
challenge.
But it does smell.
This is
It
like
does
a Tide
smell
Pod
like
challenge.
fresh cut pine, or it tastes like the smell of fresh cut pine.
I wouldn't say pine, but wood. I don't know what wood
That's gonna be-
specifically. I don't
gonna
think
be
pine.
oak.
I want to say more like maple.
When you grow a beard like this,
It's freshly whittled pine.
Nick Offerman immediately comes and delivers you a man card that tells you how all the different cuts of wood taste and smell.
Oof. I'm going to jump into this, guys. I think this is very oaky. And you all know me. I am not Mr. Oaky
very
whatsoever.
oaky, very peppery.
But I think
But it's
I'm going to
pleasant.
guess you like this.
Yeah, here's the thing.
I'm going to
So,
guess you like this.
I'm okay with it. That there's that oakiness that just kind of bothers me.
Okay.
But
James
it's not.
equals oak.
Here's what I'll say. We've had a lot of very similar whiskeys, bourbons, what have you, that are very oak forward. And that usually comes with age, because the longer it sits in a barrel, you get, obviously more oak.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting here is a lot of oak, but there's a lot of other really good flavors that I think aid that oak and kind of brings it down, brings that oakiness down a little bit.
But it's pretty prominent, man.
It's very prominent. It's very oaky. This is like a very oaky
Oak
heavy
bomb.
hitter.
Oak bomb.
No Kentucky hug whatsoever.
Nope. Easy to drink.
Easy drink.
Easy to drink.
definitely
90 proof.
dissipates.
45%er.
Yeah.
So very smooth, easy drinking. If I had to hold it up against the 8, I think they're very comparable, except this one's just more oakier. That's really all I'm
Sure.
getting here.
Okay.
What do you guys have? What do you guys get on this?
I would agree with this. I mean, they call it the Superior 12 recipe. Obviously, this one has won a lot more awards.
Definitely has more complexity.
Yes, because
Yeah.
we're like thinking about last week.
Oh, the
This
8
was-
we just pound.
Yeah, the 8, it's like cowboy whiskey. Just like if you think of whiskey, like straight across the line, that's it.
I think I said last week, here's the bar for whiskey, and I think I said Dickel 8 is like a step up.
Yeah.
Bring in your nickel, get a Dickel. Right? That's what you do in the old cowboy west.
You could run a
days, right?
saloon, Zach, with the marketing ideas that you have right
Yeah,
there.
I'm telling
Bring in
you.
your nickel, I'll give you a Dickel.
Jump off your
he's not-
horse, drop a nickel, get a dickel.
But he's not talking about having a bar, boys and girls.
Weird. All right, what else
Zach's
do you guys
Saloon
got?
is a place of pleasure.
Wow.
Yeah, smiles only.
It just has to be able to fit through the hole
Okay.
that you pour the Dickel out.
What else do you guys have?
So this is a lot more complex.
Yeah.
James, like you were saying earlier,
Yeah,
it's
definitely,
complex.
definitely.
And it kind of gives you, even if you don't like oak, you can still taste oak. You can, experience the oak.
Yeah, and think about this, guys. This is a $25
$24, yeah, $25.
bottle.
Yeah.
So
it's not
my
bad,
expectations are very, very low,
Yep.
but they're met. Like when I opened this and had it, like if this is the only thing I had access to, bourbon, whiskey, whatever whiskey wise, I wouldn't be upset. Like I'm okay with paying. I think this is at the right price point it needs to be at.
Sure.
I think it offers. I think it offers a taste that is above its value. I think that this offers, especially from some of the horrible stuff we've had, that I think it's a little bit above where it's priced. I
Sure.
think which means it would almost be a bargain that you should go have this. But it is unique. You got to remember it's got that oakiness. You got to be prepared for that. But maybe this could be really solid.
I think that this particular whiskey falls right in line with what a Tennessee whiskey should taste like. That charcoal mellowing that Tennessee whiskey is known for. A little nutty, a little minerally.
It's terrible.
There we go. I think that falls in line. So if I had to give this a score, and I'm going to, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a score.
Here, I'll let you put that
BJ.
back on. You'll start off the score. Do you mind if I cut using some of your water there?
I don't mind at all. Oh,
you.
excuse me as I bang the mic around. Everybody's
your
listening to
dome,
that.
Destroy your mics over there.
I'm gonna give this an 81. An 81 out of 100. I'm not blown away.
Can you break it down a little bit? Can you go through nose, taste, and value?
Sure. I think the nose is nice. I think it's interesting. And not overwhelmed by the alcohol or the ethanol. There are some nice notes there. Not overly complex. I think the minerality, it could be off-putting to some, but I found that to be something that was interesting and built my curiosity. The taste, it goes into the taste. I think the smoky note is pleasant. I think it's sweet enough to be sweet, but not overly sweet. And,
Guys.
81.
I got it. Okay, 81. I got to interrupt. Cut. It's so much better cut.
Really?
That oakiness fades.
I think cut, it tastes like an 8.
What? Actually, yeah. It does kind of taste like
I just put a little water in that, and it tastes like Dickel 8. No, that garbage.
Don't do that? Okay.
Don't cut it.
Okay, maybe not.
No, I think the cut is solid. I wouldn't mind drinking this on the rocks. So, Zach, do you want to jump into score?
Yeah.
Nose, taste, value. Any comments on those?
Yeah, nose. It's a little citrus. A lot of minerality, like the guys were talking about earlier. Does smell like a wet rock, right? But it's an interesting smell. It's not off-putting.
You said smell or taste like a wet rock?
No, smells.
Smells.
So you get the
Interesting.
minerality. It smells like a wet rock. But then that also translates into the taste. So
Better than smelling like a wet dog.
yeah, wet rock better than wet dog. So yeah, in the taste you also get that minerality, which is not bad, but it's it's there. I mean,
That was a very nice way to say
I
that.
like that. It's there.
Yeah, it's there. I mean, it's an experience. If you want to taste that experience, then
It really
here it
before you pass judgment, let me just reiterate again. We're talking about a $24 bottle
Oh
of
yeah,
whiskey
no,
here.
I'm not saying
And you
this
should
is-
judge it like $124
I'm not saying
bottle
that.
of whiskey.
I'm not saying that's a bad experience. It's
Yeah.
just that's what it tastes like, and it's got a lot of oak in it, and there's a little bit of sweetness on the end of the tongue, but I also get like a little bit of pepper right in the middle of the tongue, and that might be the oak. I don't know. Or
Got
possibly that charcoal.
I just want to put it out there before
Please
you jump
do,
in the
please
chat.
do. Yeah.
Zach is saying he's getting a little Dickel in the middle of his tongue.
Little Dickel in the middle of the tongue.
Okay, Zach, before you pass judgment, just getting to the chat, Patrick's asking if we're opening the 13 year. So we are going to do the whole line of Dickel. So next week we plan on opening up. We have the Barrel Select and the 13 coming. So we have
Well, the bottle and bond.
the Bottled and Bond,
We got the B&B.
the
We got the 9
year, the Barrel Select, and the 13 year. So
It's not a 13. I thought it was a 15.
oh, maybe it is a 15.
Yeah, Patrick, I think you got to recheck your math. I think it's a 15.
We will find
Thanks
out.
for
It's
correcting.
two kinds of
Correcting the
9s.
chat.
I'm sorry.
Why would we believe anything we read on the internet?
It's two kinds of 9s and then a 15. I believe.
All right,
I'm
Zach.
fairly certain.
What's your overall?
So
bud?
overall score, and this is a $24 bottle.
Out of 100
I
points.
think I gave the 8 an 80. Correct?
I believe you
remember
gave
right.
it in the high 70s.
It's a high 70s.
Well, I know
Yeah,
I did.
Because
think
I go
we-
by 5s, so just
Okay.
to keep it consistent for me. I'm going to give it an 80. So it's not super overwhelming, and something that I would want to purchase, but it's better than the 8. It's not just straight up, cowboy whiskey
Okay.
where it's there isn't a whole lot
All
to
right.
it. It's a lot more complex. It does have that minerality taste to it. If you like it, definitely go get it. If you don't like the minerality taste to it, it is kind of what really overtakes a lot of the tastes. Then that's Dickel 12.
Cool. Solid rating.
I'm interested to hear what you got to say about this.
Going to the chat, so Patrick Curry's asking about Tabasco, the Tabasco
I believe
Dickel,
that we do have a
which
Tabasco Dickel.
We will
Yeah,
work
we've
on
been
that.
we've been looking for that. I think I saw that one time, and I was like, you know what?
I know
I need
Elise
to
that
find
has
it.
it.
All right, we
Elise,
need
there's
to get
the
it.
Elise down the street has it.
All right, we
and,
need to get
and I
it.
think we should get it.
All right. Also, Ken says the 15-year single barrel is supposed to be fire.
Oh.
So interesting. We might
Fire
have
like
to,
Dickel
fire
Tabasco.
Is in like a hot dumpster fire,
No,
or
like-
is in
like
amazing
Dickel
fire?
Tabasco.
Fire awesome, or throw it in the fire.
Okay, so
So
nose.
I want to hear your rating, and then I've got a question for all
Sure.
of us.
Just jump into my rating. So I'll talk about nose, taste, and value, right? So the nose, I loved BJ's yuzu reference. I thought it was an interesting citrusy, lemony nose. And I'm going to pour myself. Can you pour me just a little dash here so we can talk about it together? Just a little
Dash Dickel.
dash of Dickel, please. Oh, that was a great
Pop.
cork pop right there.
I'm pretty good at that.
That's good. I just want to get a little nose one more time. Yeah,
Out of the bottle. Check that out of the bottle. It's really nice out of the
that
bottle.
yuzu or that lemony lemon pledge, but not in a bad way.
It's like an undefined citrus.
Yeah, and it's pleasant. But then I get the melon too. I get a light melon in the background, like those melon candies.
Citrus of some
Yuzu.
sort. Yes.
It's Buddha's hand, everybody. It's the Buddha's hand smell.
Anyway, this is anyway. Okay, now on to taste. Like I said, licking the wood at Home Depot. I don't know if I'm a big fan of that personally. I just want like ground up donuts and alcohol. That's what I want to drink all day long.
I get like dry mouth from it for some reason. Because I think
very dry. That's a fair taste profile.
Yeah, and
It's
I think that
dry,
comes from that like licking the wood, kind of thought.
Oak dryness, oaky woody dryness.
Yeah.
Maybe?
I don't know. Is that me or
No,
We haven't talked about
that.
dryness on the show in a long time.
We haven't.
But when we talk about dry as a flavor
Biff
profile,
tannins. It's been a while.
tanniny, right? You got some
Biff tannins.
tannins.
It's got
and again,
some
that comes
tannins.
from the
barrel
barrel process and
Lamaze.
the aging. So, yeah, it could be a high tan. This could be a very high tannin, dry alcohol.
So, jump into my value again, guys. Like, I want to really just put this over the coals and rake it over the coals. You can't. It's a $25 bottle of aged. Think about what's out there right now. I was just complaining to these guys how whiskey and bourbon prices are up like 30% from like 6 months ago. It's insane.
Yep.
I mean, the lowest you're going to find a Bland's for is like $80 right now. It's asinine out there, these prices. And we have single barrel Jack Daniels going for $80. That's another ass. I can't get over that. I remember paying like $40, $50, $60 for this stuff a couple months ago. It's insane what's happening in the industry right now.
But does that mean that low-level bourbons and whiskeys should get a second look or should be redefined as better tasting because of that?
No, you're going to get a second look. You're going to have people that... Listen.
You gave me the right answer the first time. I need no justification.
People jump into this. I think people jump into the bourbon world because at a time, it's hard to now, but you could get an incredible value for an incredible tasting whiskey and bourbon. Now, those are becoming far and few in between to find that deal, so to speak, of like something that tastes amazing and is affordable. It used to be the standard. It was Blanton's, right? When it was $45 to $50 a bottle.
We said that on the show
It's
quite
sweet,
a bit.
Caramel, anyone can drink it. 90 proof, super easily approachable. It's just a sweet bourbon, and people go bananas over it. For the price, it's fine. But do I want to get a $90 bottles of Bland's and say the same thing? No, it's
Plus
not
you
that
get a
good.
horse too.
Yeah, collect all the horses.
Oh, yeah.
You get a free stay.
Collect the horse. All right.
All right, I'm sorry. What's your number?
For
Give me your
$90
number.
each.
Back to, I'm giving this a 75 as my total score.
What was your Dickel 8?
I think it was 77 or
no.
something.
Is it 77?
You gave
What was it?
an 80.
Okay.
I think I
So
was
we're-
equal on both. 80
We're
and
going
80.
up the Dickel chain, and I'm going down in the scores.
Interesting. Okay.
We'll see if that keeps
What was
progressing.
I don't think it will.
You said 77?
I gave a 79 last week and an 81 this week.
Again, guys, 75 out of 100 isn't bad. These guys' ratings isn't bad either. I'm giving it a C plus.
Yeah, I mean that's
C
about
plus.
where we would normally go. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Again, I mean,
Would we say
I
that's
still
a-
suggest, I would love all of you out there, all of our friends and viewers, this is something where I think you could go stop at any liquor store and find it. get it, try it along with us for $25. Why not?
Yeah, you're not losing much.
Yeah. Exactly. I think this is something you should have on your shelf. It's fun. It's different. $25. It's middle of the road. BJ said it, right? Like, here's the bar, and it just kind of sits right above it. That's keep around for,
Longer
100
than
years.
most people have been around.
Exactly. So,
Here's what I'm going to just say really quick. Dickel 8, don't waste your time. Dickel 12, if you saw it on the shelf and you were looking to get a pretty basic standard bourbon, I would say that's a solid pick.
Yep.
I wouldn't tell you to go get Dickel 8 year or Dickel Recipe 8.
What if you're drinking for effect?
Mad Dog 2020. I tell you to drink MD 2020.
Would you take
the
MD?
Yellow or the blue?
Would you take an MD over Dickel 12?
Yes, I would.
Really?
Hell yeah, it's delicious. It's the most delicious thing. Come on. I like me a good MD 2020 orange or an MD 2020
If
blue.
I drink that, I would.
we
I
do
would
immediately
both.
end the show.
No. My quick question for all of you.
30-minute mark.
My quick question for all of you is, George Dickel 12.
Yep.
If you had your choice between getting regular black label Jack Daniels, very standard, very traditional Tennessee whiskey, or a Dickel 12,
At
what
the
would
bar.
you
At the bar or buying a bottle?
At the bar,
There
and
we
it's
go.
and it's
Same
the same
price.
price. Let's say it's $9 for an ounce and a half pour. $9. So it's sitting just below 10, right? Would you get a Dickel 12, or would you have a pour of JD Black Label?
JD.
Why?
Because I know Jack Daniels, and I enjoy Jack Daniels. I like the banana taste to it. I don't know. I like some of the tastes that come out of Dickel 12 are kind of off-putting for me. I didn't really enjoy it. It's a complex whiskey, decently complex. But,
Okay.
I'm going to go with something that I enjoy. I know the flavor, and I'm not going to feel forced, to slug it.
Okay. Jimmy?
I'm choosing the Dickel.
Why?
I think that it's a little different. I've had enough Jack in my life to try something different, and I'm tired of drinking Jack all the time. So if I saw it, I was at the bar and I wanted to be different, and I would just be like, yeah, give me a pour of Dickel. Like, I would not, again, just because of the rating I gave it doesn't mean I still wouldn't get this at a bar, right? Like, I would still, if it was the only thing available.
You didn't give it a 0.
Exactly. But if it was compared with like Jack and maybe there's some other randos that were on the list, I would be like, yeah, I'll take the Dickel 12.
Okay.
I wouldn't be upset with that choice, especially at $9.
$9 a pour, yeah. I mean, you're gonna throw the bartender a 10, right? You're gonna throw him a buck for pouring you something, and that's kind of a low tip, but you're gonna throw him some money,
throw him a tenner,
right?
Say it's
I
eight
think
a
I'd
pour.
also pick the Dickel 12, and it's just because I'm not a huge fan of regular Jack Daniel's Black Label. I think that charcoal mellowing, that maple charcoal, it does leave a really funky aftertaste, and that funk is here. Like, that funk from the charcoal mellowing process is there, but I think it's much less, and I'm with you. I think it's a little bit more complex than regular Jack. So
funk, are you sure that isn't like something you ate before you drank?
wow, you're
I
really
get
getting after me
zero
tonight.
funk.
I am. I'm riding you. There's
We got
You're just
funk.
getting after me
I'm
tonight.
riding you for this Dickel.
Yeah,
there
what
is
did-
no.
what did
Wow,
you-
you're riding me for my Dickel.
I didn't
Whoa.
say that.
Hey.
You're putting words
This
in
is
my
a
mouth.
family show, James.
That's the way he
Do not put
interpreted
Dickel.
it.
We're just friends.
Do not put Dickel in my mouth.
Hey.
I am making that statement right now.
Nobody's trying to put their Dickel in your mouth.
You're insinuating it, though.
Anyway, this show's off the rails. For the Barrel Buddies, I'm James.
I'm Zach.